How you doing? I'm Big D. Welcome to the show. Happy Merry Christmas Eve. Tomorrow being Christmas, I just want to wish you a Merry Christmas. We're going to talk about silver and what is going on with record breaking day. Started off very good. It hit almost $73. But today, December 24th, 2025, this date will go down in history for sure. Silver has just smashed through the all-time high. And what we're seeing is not just a market rally, it's a complete paradigm shift. For years, many of us have been watching, waiting, and stacking, and today that patience is being validated in a massive way. I know 70, almost $3 isn't huge money, but how much it's progressed this year is nothing but amazing. I mean, when you look at June was $28, $30 tops, right? Uh, I'm just saying, in my own personal opinion, it looks finally like some of the things I've been researching for many years. It looks like a possibility of 3-digit silver, 4-digit silver, maybe even higher. Now, the patience is validated in a massive way. We're going to break down exactly what happened, why it's happening now, and what that means for you. Record breaking silver. I mean, you're not excited? I mean, we broke records several times since September, end of September, October. Now, whether you're a seasoned stacker or just curious about precious metals, this isn't just about a number on a screen. This is about the fundamental revaluation of real money. So how did we get here? This didn't happen overnight. Let's start with some of the insight from different voices. Many of you know and trust, just like me, I research and research and research, and I use people like Bick Swears. He has been talking about the Roto-Rooter theory, predicting a moment when the manipulation of silver market would finally break. He's always pointing to the deep-seated corruption in the banking system, specifically how institutions like JP Morgan have accumulated massive physical silver stockpiles while simultaneously suppressing the paper prices through derivatives. Derivatives, I hope they are ending for real price of silver to be shown. Now, what we're witnessing today is the end of that game. The physical demand has finally overwhelmed the paper manipulation. There simply isn't enough real physical silver to deliver on all the paper promises. And the price is now being forced to reflect its true scarcity. The COMEX is in a state of chaos. And the big banks that held the price down for some long, very long, are now caught up in a very trap they set. Now, let's bring in the perspective of the economic ninja. He's preparing his ninja nation for exactly this kind of economic turmoil. He always says, I'm not a financial advisor. Neither am I. Please see my details in the description below of my disclaimer. But he constantly points out the signs of the failing system. He talked endless about the inflation and the dollarization and the trend, which we are, I believe, if you're a silver stacker, you've probably seen the trend that's going on with de-dollarizing the U.S. currency and the unstable national debt. He would see today as silver breaks out as a direct consequence of the Federal Reserve as reckless monetary policy. Years of printing money out of thin air have destroyed the purchasing power of the dollar. If you follow the graph that you could find just about anywhere, federal websites, Google it, purchasing power of the US dollar. And you'll see from 1913, the year the Federal Reserve was engineered, because it's not federal and it does not have a reserve. Now people are losing faith in the financial currency, and they are rushing to assets that have held value of thousands of years. The ninja has always emphasized that be your own bank. Well, I definitely can't do that right this present time. But you never know what the future will bring. So today, that message is hitting home for millions. The smart money isn't just seeking returns, it's seeking refuge. And if you follow this along, at the very end, I have a bonus section. I have written it down as well. It didn't make the actual script that I wrote late yesterday afternoon into the last night. Now, silver is the refuge. This isn't just a trade. It's a survival strategy for the economic storm that has been brewing for years. Then you have the silver seeker. He's another one I keep an eye on, and I get some research from him. His channel has always been grounded in the fundamentals of supply and demand, and he provides a fantastic on-the-ground perspective. He's been tracking the data from the U.S. Mint, the Perth Mint, and other, showing us of the dwindling inventories and the soaring premiums for months, even years. He would point out that this isn't just an investment demand. Industrial demand for silver is absolutely exploding. Think about it. Solar panels, electric vehicles, 5G technology, medical applications. The list goes on and on. And now you have the new Samsung battery, the solid state Samsung battery that requires quite a bit of silver. And we've talked about this. The military requires huge amounts of silver. In the comment section, leave a little detail of you believe that silver could be pulled from our hands. Do you think the government would ever say, sorry, we need the silver more than you do for military purposes, and you got to give it up? You think that could happen? It's a little scary. They did that years and years ago with gold. It's a critical strategy. It's actually a strategic commodity. Unlike gold, most of silver that's used in the industry is consumed and never recovered. Until now, you can actually go on and find people like myself that recover silver. I'll give you for instance, any type of switch has most likely a contact, because it lasts a lot longer than, say, a contact from copper, etc., or aluminum, or gold even. There's many purposes for silver. Definitely, I'm hoping that we are able to start recovering more, because what's coming out of the ground is getting less and less every year. Silver being a byproduct, by the way. So every year, using up more of this infinite, finite resources, silver seekers would show you that chart of that type of thing. Unfortunately, I don't have ability at this present time to show you the actual on screen of that chart, but mine supply has been flat or even declining for years, while demand is on a meteoric rise. It was a simple mathematical certainty that this price exploding would happen. The question was never if, but when, and when is now. And we can't forget Chris Marcus from Arcadia Economics. Another great resource. for silver and silver details. Chris has been relentless exposing the price manipulation, doing deep dives into the CFTC reports and legal battles against the bullion banks. His work has been crucial in showing the public the sheer scale of the fraud. He would argue that today's price action, my penmanship isn't the greatest, I apologize. Price action in the final capitulation of the manipulators. For years, they were able to use massive leverage shorts in a short position to cap any rally. But as more and more physical silver was drained from the vaults of the COMEX and the LBMA, their game became unattainable. They ran out of physical metal to back up their paper bets. Paper is just the worst thing to ever get into. Now, interview countless experts who warned that a forced majority event was coming, a moment when the exchange would be forced to admit they couldn't deliver the metal. That's essentially what we're seeing today. The price isn't just rising, it's unrigging. We are finally witnessing true price discovery in the silver market for the first time in decades. So what does this all mean? The paper price of silver, the number you use to see on a financial news channel, is becoming irrelevant. What matters now is the price for physical delivery. We're already seeing reports of dealers being completely sold out. Premiums are skyrocketing. If you want to buy a physical ounce of silver right now, you're going to be paying significantly more than the spot price, if you can find it. This is the great disconnect between which we've been talking about for quite a while now. The real world is separating from the paper fantasy. This isn't just a U.S. phenomenon either. So we're seeing similar supply shocks all over the world, from London to Shanghai. Global demand is converging all at once. Let's put this in a broader context. Why December 2025? Think about everything that has led up to this moment. Geopolitical tensions is at a boiling point. The BRICS nations have been actively moving away from the US dollar, stockpiling gold and other real assets. We've seen persistent, stubborn inflation that central banks have been unable to control without crashing the economy. And the public's trust in institutions, from governments to banks, is at an all-time low. People are waking up. They're realizing that their savings, their pensions, their wealth are at risk in a system built on debt and promise. Silver, along with gold, represents an exit from that type of system. It's an asset that is no one else's liability. It has no counterpart risk. In a world of digital currencies and complex derivatives, this simple, tangible nature of silver coin is more appealing than ever. So what happens next? This is likely just the beginning of the increase, and more record-breaking silver is coming. Mainstream media has ignored silver for years, will now be forced to cover it. Financial advisors who once dismissed it and will have to explain to their clients why they missed the historical move. We'll see what's known as the FOMO rally, fearing of missing out. But this is much more than just speculative. As the price continues to rise, it will create a feedback loop. Higher prices will strain the industrial supply chains even further. leading to more shortages and even higher prices. It will also put more pressure on the remaining paper short positions, potentially leading to the mother of all short squeezes that may have predicted. If you're someone who holds physical silver, I say congratulations. The foresight and discipline have paid off. The key now is to not panic. Don't be tempted to sell everything at the first sign of pullback. If it pulls back $20, I would recommend against that. Manipulators will not go down without a fight. They can expect extremely volatile, but the fundamental forces, dwindling supply, massive demand, and a lost faith in the fiat currency, are now in control. For those who are just learning about this, it's not too late, but you need to be smart. Finding physical silver will be the main challenge. Be prepared for high premiums and potentially shipping delays. Educate yourself. Don't just chase the price. Understanding why you are buying. You are not just buying a metal. You are buying financial insurance. You are buying freedom from a failing system. This historic day, December 24th, 2025, is a testament to the power of the truth and the sound money. It's been doing this for years by independent researchers and citizen journalists like Bix Wares, the Economic Ninja, Silver Seekers, Chris Marcus, who dared to challenge the official narrative. They empower ordinary people to protect themselves. And today we're seeing the results. This isn't just about getting rich. It's about reclaiming control over wealth in our future. This is a monetary revolution, and it's happening right before our eyes. Stay informed, stay prepared, and remember that this is all about the enduring value of real money in a world that has forgotten what it is. Thank you for watching. I do appreciate it, and I'm going to give you the plus of today's show. Now that we've been looking at silver, which has outperformed gold, Michael Oliver says we can go to $100 to $150 silver by Q2 next year, 2026. There's about 1 billion ounces of silver in vaults that are owned by ETFs. The two biggest ETFs are SLV and PSLV. It's very possible that will definitely happen. If they do that, the price of silver will, I would say, probably drop about $25 maybe an ounce in a single day, because they're flooding the market with all that silver. But I would think that dump, say when silver drops, $70, $80, maybe in the $60 again. Once the bullion ounces are used up, it's possible to see solid triple digits in the silver. Then $500 to $1,000 per ounce. And this is as per Michael Oliver. My recommendation for now is don't sell until you see silver prices at or above where you feel confident to sell it. Shortage of silver is not spotty. It's everywhere. Record low inventories. When gold goes to $5,000, silver will continue to outperform gold. Silver miners have been margined to that gold, and my opinion is only going to get better. Right now, gold is bouncing off $4,500, and when it hits $5,000, silver could be around $100 to $110 an ounce. I have seen many professionals that are researchers and use my notes to build a script for this show. These people say silver is going to be much higher than saying could be $200-300 by Q2. we can talk about silver and gold without a few details and what central banking comes in play. As far as gold, central banks were net zero of the central banks. They were net sellers between 1970 and 2010. Since then, they have been net buyers. The amount of central bank joining in, remember how they said silver's nothing? Well, ever since 2010, silver's become a major commodity. It's used in everything. Probably you touch about 10 different things every day, from your car, laptop, tablets, cell phone, toaster. Everything has silver in it. Now, central bank joining in have continued to increase, and the amount of net buying has increased. It's a good fundamental driver, and it's important to investors because central banks are smart buyers. They buy the dips. The reason I bring up the central bank and that they are buying gold is because silver is outperforming gold. So the more buying of gold increasing, the price, because of supply drops, demand goes up and supply drops, and silver follows gold price, and silver outperforms, which pushes silver prices higher. Thank you for stopping in. Merry Christmas. Have a great rest of your day, and God bless.